Facebook going to just going, all right, hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Just sitting here drinking my morning coffee, looking sexy as hell as usual. Had a decent coffee chat yesterday. I'm hoping we can pull the same off today before I go get my morning run done. All right. It was decent yesterday. It took a minute to get it started, but once it got started, it was solid. The lives have been doing decent. Lives are doing decent. So, hopefully we can keep that flow. Let me get these Amazon wish lists up. All right, we in a good place though. Just in life in general this week. I've had a lot of things going on, but they're turning out for the better in the long term. Right? Things I have going on. All right, so I know we set this to public. Let's double check it. Are we in public? Yeah, it's set to public. It allows me to change it on the desktop if I didn't get it right. Yeah, so come over here. Uh-oh. Did it not put those into groups? That's going to be the real question. Can I do so many group posts per day now as far as block 7? What's up with that? Yep. All right. Anybody in here yet? No, there's nobody in yet. There we go. First viewer is in. Finally. Took a couple minutes. Peppermint, you're the first one here. No one else even caught it in their streams. Coaches are good. Appreciate it, Peppermint. Well, I'm glad you're in here. No, you're a regular. It's always funny. I get people who bring up that they think that this person or that person is a hater who comes through. They pull that on you. But it's like, I don't care if someone's a hater or a troll if they don't troll in my comments. I don't think people understand that. That's the only concern. There's at least one regular who comes through here who I know for a fact is actually definitely a hater. But he doesn't do any of it in the comments. And that's relevant. Right? So I don't ban him. But I know he is for a fact. Like, it's not even a question. But he behaves. Matters, right? As long as you're not trolling and pulling crazy hater stuff in my comments. It's really strange people who say to you, if so, it doesn't matter. Right? Yeah, if they behave in their lives. No, what I mean is, like, it's been proven to me by other people that they've sent me the links that one of the people is. Like, it's not even a question. Like they post under the same account under crazy hater stalker videos. But they don't do any of it when they come through here. Like, so that's the thing. Makes sense? What body fat percentage have you found to be best for main gaining? Main gaining is a stupid term. I refuse to entertain the word main gaining because Greg Doucette doesn't get to define lifting terminology. He doesn't get to change the meanings of definitions. So I refuse to answer any questions about main gaining. That's my official policy. I refuse to play Greg Doucette's game and give him authority. So you're going to have to use the correct word. If you will use the correct word, I'll be happy to answer your question. Oh, I might know who you're talking about, but they still do good. Yeah, they behave. And they regularly post positive stuff under my other videos. So who cares? I don't really care. But I know they're a straight up crazy hater. Well, he's changed it a few times. So do you mean recomposition or do you mean lean gains? How are you personally defining it? So you need to pick one. Do you mean staying at the same body weight? while gaining muscle and losing fat at the same time, which is recomposition? Or do you mean purely lean gains to where you slowly gain only lean muscle tissue with no fat? So which one are we asking about? Because the answer is a little different. Okay, recomposition, you probably need to be above 10% body fat to really be effective with that, right? You need to be above 10%. Now you can recomp at any. Carl, you could be a 400-pound fat guy in recomp. It's just that you're not going to lose much fat because, you're over 400 pounds. But generally, you need to have enough body fat that you can lose body fat still while gaining muscle. So you need a more optimal environment. I'm going to say you probably need to be above 10%. If you're under 10%, you're going to have to gain probably a little weight to gain muscle. Make sense? Once you start seeing the first vein across your six pack, you're probably not recomping anymore. Right? You've probably done. You're not going to recomposition anymore, realistically. But it's going to vary a little from person to person. Hey, Mustafa, I didn't even see you posted here yet. You started your cut. It's kind of quiet. Is it quiet? Do I need to turn the mic up? Yeah, the mic gets turned down automatically. It's nothing. I've tried everything. No, it's up. No, the mic is not turned down, bro. So I don't know. Maybe I need to talk louder. Maybe it's just me being a little too chill this morning, Mustafa. I can't believe how much smaller I look in the mornings. When I'm over here in this morning lighting and I'm fasted still, my arms are like an inch smaller. I don't have the veins everywhere. We do the afternoons, and once I'm carved up, because when I break my fasted window, and it's like a little bit of vein the size of my pinky on my arm. It's hilarious. Look how small they are in comparison. You're used to it, Peppermint. Like, where's the drain pipe? So funny. It's just crazy how different we are in the same day, because it's like this every day when we do these. All right. Also, there are people who used to be here who actually watch you and realize it was Peppermint. I've had at least one of them hire me, actually, as a coach, or even do consultations. Like Carl says, I'm asking because I gained incredible gains following the basics that you outlined, and currently at the stage where I want to be more lean. Thank you. Really good content. You're welcome. Yeah, well, hopefully that helps you. Peppermint says it's okay. Hey, Peppermint says it's okay on his end, Mustafa. It's your phone. Okay. So Mustafa's on Facebook. He says it's his phone speaker. So that's what it is. It's not me at all. My mic is set at 90%. It gets a little staticky at 100, so I have my input at 90% on the mic. But I mean, I have a pretty good mic. I got a Blue Yeti. That's what we use. I set it to the side a little bit there when I do these. That's not in the way of my keyboard. We like to chill, coach. We got chill, coach. That's right. We got the chill, coach. Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm in a good place this week. A lot of positive stuff happening in my life. I dealt with some tragedies, but it's looking like they're really turning out okay for me in the end. As crazy as that sounds, there's some silver linings in it. But what do? You gotta find the silver lining in everything. But on the other hand, the lives are doing pretty decent too. Those afternoon ones are picking up. They're getting they're getting supers, they're getting views. Slowly bringing my subscriber count back up. At least here. Facebook's doing its own thing. It's up and down. It had a really strong week over a week ago. It's been slow this week, but in the wash, it will come up. I think if I just keep my positive attitude, hammer content, keep making progress, would be good. But I feel like this point moving forward in life for a while, my attitude is going to be super good, super super good. Um, you know, yeah. How about you guys? I was wondering why Scandinavians have so many elite strength athletes. Found out you already made a video on it. Yep, yep. I've already covered it. I have my own theories. I think it's largely the height. It's really the height. I think that's the number one hypothesis, right? Keep the content flowing. We are, Scott. We're keeping it flowing, man. Like I said, life is picking up for me in certain ways, some silver linings, which I'm not going to discuss in detail. But what I will say, haters out there have got their theories so far off. Like the theories that they've created, their whole backstory and stuff in my life, they've missed the mark by so far that it would be comical if it wasn't so crazy. Like I just it just blows my mind. Yeah. And if they lost that, if they just lost the one thing they get so insanely wrong, their entire narrative and things would make way more sense as far as even stuff they come up with. I'll just tell you what it is. You guys want to know what it is, Peppermint? They think that I'm in some sort of welfare or Section 8 housing. If they lost that crazy theory, they would be so much closer to reality because it's not even remotely true. I don't think there's any Section 8 housing. It's like what you guys would call council housing. I don't think there's any in my neighborhood. I don't think there's any to my knowledge. So it's just crazy. I just can't. Oh, they're obsessed. I mean, it is one of their number one obsessions, like my haters. Like, I mean, they are literally convinced of it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And it's not even remotely close to true. I literally pay 100% of my own bills. And my bills just went down. like like dramatically in certain ways. Um, all right. Linda says, Coach, that date went well. I did hold her hand, as a matter of fact. Well, there you go, man. Haters mean you're doing well. I don't just have haters, I have stalkers. Got like obsessed, crazy. But let's get off that topic. We don't need to put energy into that. Let's put energy into the positive. Peppermint, it's a really strange thing. It really is. Like I legitimately do not understand where it originated. Like I just can't. It's just insanely weird. Um, like I actually have one of them was trying to harass me and talk to me, and I tried to pry his brain to figure out why they even believe it, and I couldn't get him. I couldn't get it out of him. Like I got in a text conversation with one, seeing if I could get him to explain, because I was legitimately curious. Like I'm like, this is so insane. I want to understand how they came up with it, and he couldn't give me anything that made sense. Yeah, it seems like a cult. It really is. Just like for the life of me, I don't understand where the theory came from. It does not make sense to me. I think deep down they like you. Um, Seems like the haters channel seem less these days than in the past. I don't get them, at least from what I hear, based on well thought out, reasonable research, weightlifting, and views. Yeah. Well, no, they're not obsessed with my training, dude. They're obsessed with weird legends and theories about me. Like, it's not about my training information for them. A lot of them don't even lift. It's nothing to do with that. It's the character they've created about me. Well, no, Limitless, it's not even the past. Limitless, they've written their own fiction about the past. Make sense? No, they've created an entire false backstory, like a novel. And they take minor semi-real facts and twist them to weave it all into it, to the point where it's so detached from reality that, so that's what it is. And you can't refute any of it to them. Like, I mean, it literally involves stuff like a police station burned down that had evidence against me on a crime. And so the evidence was lost in the records or law. I mean, we're talking this crazy. I think they're jealous you can afford a premium home gym, so they want to believe you have some government assistance. And I think where some of that starts is because I did get SSDI, not SSI, but SSDI a long time ago with my Meniere's, but that has been an insanely long time ago. We're not just talking a few years, but to the point where some of them have tried to contact them to file disability fraud against me. But I don't get any. Like, I haven't, and I've never got the other stuff. Like, I don't know a single person who gets Section 8 housing. I don't think I've ever met anyone who has it that I know of in my entire life. I don't know a single person who's ever had it. So that's a weird one. I didn't get that even when I got that back years ago. Yeah. But no, I mean, I am clearly not medically disabled. So no, I don't get anything. That's been a lot. And I legitimately was medically disabled at one time. I mean, we've made videos about it, right? Like, it's not a secret. It's not like I haven't discussed it in the rebuilding process. But in my rebuilding process, I lost my disability from Social Security. When I rebuilt myself, I lost it. Like, I haven't gotten it in over a decade. Like, we're talking more than a decade at this point, guys. It was turned off because I'm not disabled. You have to be medically disabled to qualify. Kind of the point, right? And so the way that system works, let me jump over to Facebook. Oh, your stuff is not posted anymore. So it's based upon how much money you paid in. So essentially, when you get that, you're not a strain on the taxpayer, you're a strain on yourself. You get your retirement early based upon what you have already paid in. It's insanely hard. You have to have a medical team. So for the full SSDI, I had 3 medical doctors sign off on it, including the head of ENT. So the head of ENT, of the ENT department at a hospital, wrote me a full letter for them and submitted it. So she actually wrote a full disability declaration letter, not just one of the regular doctors. The specialist who was the head of the ENT department met with me, looked at my file. She wrote a letter declaring me disabled. It had to be taken by a lawyer to a judge. Right? Makes sense? I'm no longer medically disabled, so I don't get that anymore. It's been a really long time. But I mean, no, I really did. It's not like I didn't get the SSDI when I was sick. But you guys saw the rebuilding process. Like, I lost 100 pounds. I learned to walk again. I started competing in powerlifting. All of that cost me the disability. I don't get it. And it wasn't enough money to be worth it, Like, let me put it this way. What I pay for my home here per month is more than what the disability check was. So, right. My basic bills, like my cost of living now, is triple what that was just for me to pay everything. So my monthly bills are triple what that amount was paying. But I haven't got it in a long time. Like, it's over. I'll probably never get it again. Users, but I appreciate it, Carol. I'm also over on Facebook. So yeah, peppermint. Just in disclosure, yeah, I had to get that. So I had 3 different doctors sign off on it, but the head of ENT wrote me a full letter, and she filled in the forms, and it was legally submitted. And I had a lawyer and everything, and a lawyer got like 25% of all my back pay on it. So that was the agreement he got. But that's a long time ago. They may have been view chasing, but the channel I saw seemed crazy even a few years ago suggested balanced views on their comment section and got attacked. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's hard to deal with. It's just I just have to deal with it. I have to be aware that it's there. You're thinking of only channels. Mauser, you're not understanding that it goes into the real life. It's not just on the internet. Like, those same people harass my friends, my family, my neighbors, like phone calls, right? Not just the internet. So, like, they're full stalkers. So the same people who make those videos literally stalk my family members. Just the way it works. Yeah. So just an FYI. So, but they've been doing it a decade. I mean, you just deal with it. That's why I stay strapped. Coach, do you think neck training is beneficial? No, it can be beneficial. Hold on, I got to refill my coffee. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, guys. We're back. No, neck training can have its uses, but keep in mind, I mean, if your traps and shoulders are well developed, that will be good. Hail to the yeah. That was an important typing. Speaking of business, I just had a 6-month package. The payment clear client just bought another 6-month package. He was due at the end of the month. He went ahead and sent it just now. We just received it. Hell yeah, baby. Another $13.50. Love that, dude. Those packages are so awesome. Like, as a coach, like, just from a business perspective, every time I sell a package, it's just like kapow. People be thinking I'm kidding. The relucture's not really serious. Can you see? Is it going to show? There's the email for the Zelle. No, it's not showing. Oh, well. Can't show you. No, really. I tried. Screen. Yeah, it's too bright. What's your current stance on preacher curls when it comes to risk reward? I don't know that I have a stance, Marco. I guess the real question becomes, how much do we even need curls? Right? I guess the real question is, how much do we really need curls is the question. But I think the risk to reward on preacher curls, as far as the risk, it's only risky if you're stupid, right? When you cheat, when you do too many sets, you have overuse issues, or you cheat, or you lay back, right? Instead of just doing them strict. That's where it's risky. It's not inherently risky. You know, Patrick said, if you could choose one body part to get substantially bigger, with my triceps, like straight up. If I could have any muscle on my body right now just increase 25% in size, triceps hands down. I wouldn't even have to think twice on that one. That's a super easy one, right? Well, I'm hammering. I am pushing triceps harder than any other muscle. It's the only muscle that's getting high volume being isolated at this point. I'm going to see what happens. Would you ever recommend speed work outside of doing just a full conjugate training? Generally not. No, I usually only personally program speed work in the context of conjugate. I'm very reluctant to use it outside of that system for a whole host of reasons. You know, see, coach with a mount tricephalus, right? I'm gonna push them and push them and push them. They were definitely probably bigger when I did hit that 365 close grip. What do you think about go mad for skinny folks like 150 pounds? I think the problem is, all right, are you talking about go mad as well? I've had different variations of it come through here when people ask. I want you to define to me the context for your go mad. Are you talking about the way, say, Rip Toe and Starting Strength laid it out? Or are you talking about this weird thing I've had people come in lately? No, I need to know more. So last time someone asked that and I started explaining it, they said, no, it means only a gout, nothing but milk, a milk only. I'm like, no, that's not what. So I want to make sure that you know what GOMAD means. You're talking about the traditional GOMAD, the way old school football players did it, the way Rip Toe said it, is you eat your normal diet you're already eating, right? And you add a gallon of milk. Right. So you're talking about adding that. Let's say you've been doing a chicken and rice diet, right? Whatever. You're 200 grams of protein and 2,500 calories, right? You add another whole gallon of milk. Okay. Here's the problem with it. I think for a lot of guys, that's going to be excessive weight gain instead of just adding more carbs, number one, or some healthy fats. Number two, while milk itself is not necessarily always problematic, I would be concerned with the insulin sensitivity, like the fat gain. So here's what the real concern is with it. Gaining body fat does not cause muscle growth. You know that, right? This has been debunked in the lab, right? The problem is saturated fat stores more efficiently as body fat than any other calorie source, number one. Now, the saturated fat in whole milk does not affect your lipid profile. So that we don't have that negative. Now butter will, but that's now a refined separate source. You're going to gain body fat too easy. Here's the other problem. Saturated fat, even in that form, does increase insulin resistance. So you're loading a huge amount of saturated fat for an enormous surplus. It's going to cause insulin resistance over time. Right? So I think health-wise and in the long term, it's not a good approach. Now, if you're struggling to get enough food and you want to add a little whole milk, might be reasonable, if you just can't gain any weight. But I would also say natural peanut butter works really good here. That's my solution for my hard gainers because there's also no negatives to the lipid profile. There's no negatives to your insulin sensitivity. I would lean more in the direction of just natural peanut butter personally. But the point is the gallon itself, you're talking about just adding 2,800 calories of mostly fat. That's just dumb. Unless you're trying to get fat. But keep in mind, who was this written for? High school football players who needed to bulk up for football. They're not trying to gain lean muscle. They wanted to gain fat also. Okay. Limitless coaches are considered fasting if I have coffee in the morning but add some milk and honey. You already know the answers. Limitless. Let me reword your question. Is it still considered fasting if I break my fast? No. You had calories, right? What you wrote versus what I am seeing is two different things. Okay. Limitless, but you didn't have coffee. You had milk. You had honey. And you had a biscuit. You broke your fast. You're not fasting. A friend of mine lost 20 pounds in 3 months doing OMAD. I think it's extreme dieting and not ideal. I'm not a big fan of the OMAD specifically, but I thought coffee was okay. But you didn't drink coffee. You drank milk, honey, and biscuits. Sounds very British. Call it a biscuit. So understand British versus American English. What we call a biscuit is not what the Brits call a biscuit. So I'm just think it's funny that you said biscuit in the morning for breakfast. Like that's not a traditional breakfast food. Like I done pulled some biscuits and gravy. Let me say it very Southern because that's what you would think of. I just had biscuits and gravy, right? Like where I live, a biscuit is I don't know the British equivalent. What do you guys call a biscuit, Peppermint? Since you call cookies biscuits, what in the heck do you call a biscuit? A real biscuit, like an American biscuit. Like what's the word for that over there? Coach, might be random, but why are NFL players considerably heavier than rugby players? Quite similar sports. Height, overall need. Yeah, you guys might call it a scone. It's just very weird. Like there's no sugar. It's not sweet, right? Scones are not sweet. It's just like almost like a buttery bread, very dry. Yeah. So we call that a biscuit in where I live. And we call it, you guys call a biscuit, we call a cookie. Right. So limitless, let's come back to the standard rule. Is he a fitness personality? Do you know who he is? You know his name, and he's a fitness personality. He has a following. It's a fair default assumption that they are not natural. That is just like the fair default assumption. What do you mean that sucks? No, if your dream physique is a steroid physique, then you need to do steroids. This is a very simple solution. So maybe you should stop looking at other people for your results. But if your dream physique is someone who's on steroids, then you need, since that's it, your dream, you use the word dream. That means it's really important to you. Then you need to do steroids. That's very straightforward. because it wouldn't be your dream physique. It would just be a physique. Oh, that would be nice to have. No, you use the word dream physique. You need to use steroids then. This is that sounds important. Like this is a very important, you really, really, really want it. Then if you really want something is your dream, then you do whatever the fuck it takes to reach it. Full stop. It's a very straightforward thing. If something is your dream, then you do whatever you need to get there. And if you die, you die. But that's your dream. You wrote dream physique. Well, very straightforward then. I mean, this is a no-brainer. I mean, let's just be straightforward with it. Let's just call it like it is. All right. You know, instead of, you didn't say, hey, I mean, it would be nice to have that. It'd be cool. But you said it's your dream. You got to go after your dreams in life if it sounds really, really important to you. So if it shaves 20 years off your life, but it was your dream, you have to live your dream. So maybe it really isn't your dream then. I don't think it was, or you wouldn't have said that sucks. You'd have been like, well, hell, I need to go get on the gear right now then. You wouldn't have even hesitated. So I don't think it's actually your dream then. I think people overuse these words in this generation. They'll say, go, I want this. No, you don't. I've noticed that younger guys in their 20s tend to use these words incorrectly. They say, I want something. When what they really mean is, hey, it would be really nice if I got this thing. It would just be really cool if this thing was handed to me with no sacrifice. Yeah, Larry Wheels was not even an adult, and he was on 2.5 grams. Larry Wheels was mega dosing at 16 years old, himself admittedly. Yeah, but I can't sacrifice everything for that. Then it's not your dream physique. Then why did you say dream? That would be my point. Why did you say dream physique? If it was your dream physique, you would make sacrifices for it. You don't actually want it, in other words. I think people forget because of how calm I am, how extreme I am, and how hardcore in my stuff. Like that came up. I was chatting with, like I said, David Neal. We were having a video call. He's another coach I know. I interact with him a lot on Facebook. I video call him every now and then. He's one of my guys I roundtable with. And he pointed that out too. He goes, I don't think, he goes, you downplay it and people don't get it because they're not looking as coaches and lifters of how insanely hardcore you are. I go, what do you mean? He goes, you downplay it like it's not a big deal. He's like, but dude, you keep in mind your age. Like I've watched you squat 500 pounds. You're doing your sled work in the middle of the street barefoot. Like, normal people can't do that stuff, right? He goes, you understand how hardcore that is. I said, it's just a workout. Right? To me, that's just a workout. He's like, you go do random, he goes, so you squat and deadlift all the time. He's like, you're almost 50 years old and that you just randomly all through the week go do 5Ks barefoot as a guy who squats and deadlifts 3 days a week. He goes, you're almost 50 years old. He goes, you not understand how insane that is. I'm like, it's not, he's like, but I'm like, it's not hard. It's just a workout. So there's your context of who you're talking to, Limitless. I don't understand that mentality. No, if you want it, you would be on trend right now. If you actually wanted it, you wouldn't have even been asking me. You would have started pinning last week. If that was really and truly your goal, your dream, you would already be on gear. You would not hesitate. No hesitation. If you have a goal, you go grab that goal. Full stop. Like, I don't understand that mindset. Like, you understand that is those steroid physiques, and you understand there will be risk for it. But if it's actually your goal, you're just going to do it. You'll pay that price. Like, why wouldn't you? If it was important to you, you'd do it. There's be no hesitation. But yeah, exactly, Peppermint. But David brought that up. We were laughing. I want him to do a clip on it because it was so funny the way he's like, "Do you not understand how insanely hardcore you are?" I'm like, "But I'm not. It's just normal training, right? You do rep work with 500 pounds on the deadlift. You work out for 2 hours, fasted, and then go run a 5K barefoot in the morning. The next morning. What? This is normal. That's just a normal Tuesday." And he's like, "But normal people can't do that." I'm like, "Yes, they can. Yes, they can." These are cop outs. These are excuses. Just if you were serious, you just go do it. Darn. I don't hesitate. I get out and run. Like, come on, guys. So no, I don't understand that mindset. I mean, now for my case, I choose not to do a bunch of gear because my goals don't require me to. But if I woke up one day and said, "This is my dream and my goal," and if I'm dead in 2 years, and I wouldn't care because my dream and my goal would supersede my life. If it was important to me, I wouldn't hesitate. But isn't that true when they've interviewed Olympic athletes? They ask a bunch of them before, and this is the difference between champions and normal people, of being actually driven towards a goal. Of they were asked, and the majority of Olympians said this: like, if you could take a gold medal in your sport and win it this year, but you died 2 years later, would you do that? Like, if God kind of told you this, would you accept that? And the majority of them said yes. They would be willing to die in 2 years if it meant that they got their gold medal. These were serious Olympic athletes, like, who were contenders. So do you understand that? You have any advice for guys who hate doing cardio? Quit being a bitch. That's it. That's my advice. Go do your cardio. Like, what do you mean? If you need to do cardio, why does it matter if you hate it? And I mean that is a serious question. So what? Is it important? Is it important for your health? Is it important for your goals? My only advice is, just like I told you on the thing on the date, and you followed through with it. I told you quit being a bitch and just be yourself. You went on the date and held her hand. Cardio is the same way. Stop being a bitch. Do your cardio. Tough love, coach. Keep in mind, guys, I'm about to go run 5K barefoot. I did squats and deadlifts yesterday, right? We repped out 500 pounds on the deadlift, repped out 315 on the bench, pushed a sled sprints. I'm going to do a 5K this morning. I'm just waking up doing my coffee chat. We're going to do a 5K. I'm going to do barefoot 5K again once the sun is up. No excuses. Like stop making excuses. I'm the last person you want to play that game with. Again, context of what we pointed out with David and that stuff. I don't buy those excuses. He told me that. I'm like, he goes, normal people can't do what you do. They can't do that. I'm like, yes, they can. It's like we laugh because he and I got in a conversation before, like on Facebook, and they were talking about 75 hard. I'm like, you need to call it 75 pussy. Why? You're setting yourself up for failure to call something hard. They should rename it 75 easy or 79 pussy. 75 pussy. Why? Because it's just a normal set of little challenges. The fact that they call it hard programs you to be weak. Okay. When you get up and say, man, deadlifts are hard, you have completely screwed yourself. Deadlifts are easy. Squatting is easy. Okay. Running a 5K is easy. Running a marathon is easy. You guys have to lose this bitch pussy mindset. It is limiting you. It will make you weak. You have to stop programming yourself to be a pussy. You have to stop, guys. And the second, I appreciate the like in there, by the way, Carol. The second you start calling it 75 hard, you're now thinking that just some normal, oh, we'll drink a gallon of water a day is hard. Wow. Do you see the problem here? If you wanted to program yourself to success, you would call it 75 bitch mode easy pussy. You'd be like 75, the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. That's what you would call it. Alan says, I think it's about priorities. If you're chasing strength over weight loss, you will have to choose which goal. Sure, absolutely, Alan. Absolutely. But again, even for me, I'm pushing the well-rounded fitness and health. But so let's come over to that. How hard do I push that goal? When I've said, hey, I am not chasing elite strength anymore, I'm chasing well-rounded fitness and health. How hard do I push that? We get up to a 5K 3 times a week. We train hard 3 times a week. We do cardio every day. I eat zero junk food. Do you ever plan on? Yeah, of course. Of course I will. I mean, I'm mostly there. I'm down like 18 pounds. I'm only 9 pounds over 200 now. I just have stopped cutting for a short bit because I have to do stuff in steps. We accept that. All right. Is it a priority or a goal, Alan? If it was a priority, I would already be there. Is it a goal? Yeah, we'll get there eventually. But I'm also focused on the overall performance at the moment. Strength, body composition, running. Now, over time, will that end up resulting in me getting down there? Eventually it will. And we'll make a push for more fat loss coming up here eventually. But in the moment, I've been going, look, I want to get my strength numbers up. I want to get my run times improved, get my conditioning, my overall fitness higher and higher. But the beauty of that, my food intake to sit at 209 right now is ridiculous. All right. My food intake is cray cray. So again, so my energy turnover is going up and up and up. Is eventually going to reach a point where it just appreciate the super chat, Eli. Running one set 3 times per week. Per muscle group, will I see consistent progress? Remember a video guy who did 5 to 10 reps 3 times per week and was mentioned 405 for 10. You made inspired me. Okay. You're at the dude, we're pushing low volume. Is it possible? Yes, but that's going to be tough because you're only running one set. So Eli, let's delve into this. I'm going to since you donated a super chat, let's dig into this. When you say one set of muscle group, do you just mean benching? Is your chest and triceps? Or do you mean you're doing that and then maybe a separate tricep? See what I mean? Or is that your whole thing? So when you say one set per muscle group, do you mean pull-ups is the only thing you're doing for back and biceps? So what are you doing, like 4 exercises only? So that would be my question. So if we start overlapping muscles, see where I'm about to go with this, you're really getting more than one set per muscle. So if you come in and say, I'm going to say it's going to be more doable if you're actually doing, okay, barbell rows, pull-ups, okay, now that's a lot of work. All right, see, this is a little different. So you're doing bench, squat, FDL, tricep extensions, barbell rows, and pull-ups, and curls, and leg extensions, and leg curls, and a cap. Okay, right. That's more than one set per every muscle, right? Maybe the chest is the only one getting a little shortchanged. Because I'm looking at minimum 2 sets for those quads. And overhead pressing. Okay. So how many exercises are we doing one set of? What? The adverts aren't running on this one? I have it set for aggressive. I don't know why they're not running. It doesn't matter. We got a super chat that makes trumps it. Okay. I got 3 already. Everything at one set. Eli. So other people are seeing them. Okay. I think that's workable. Okay. I think what you're doing is workable, but keeping in mind, there really is more than one set per muscle. You know what I mean, dude? So if you're doing that as a full body 3 times a week, let's be fair. That's 3 sets for triceps alone. You got benching, you got tricep extension, over rest. Your triceps are getting 3 sets. Your lats are getting, do we count it as stiff leg deadlifts? Maybe. Lats are getting at least 2 sets. Biceps are getting 3 sets. You know what I mean? It's more volume than you're realizing. Now, that being said, is it possible for you to make really long-term gains pretty much doing that? I think it is. Yeah. I think it is. But just be aware you're doing more than one set per. You don't have a single muscle other than maybe pecs. But I don't know, the pull-ups and overhead press, do your extensions, do they have a pullover effect? You see where I'm going with that? It may still technically be more than one set for chest. But everything else is getting 2 or 3 sets minimum. So where are we at? We're at 6 to 9 sets a week. All the other muscles are getting between 6 to 9 sets easily per week. Well, we're over into a reasonable territory. You know what I might recommend? Do a second set of bench. Just to make sure them teddies get a little more, right? I'd consider that personally. Yeah, it could definitely work. It could definitely work. We'll do. Hold on, let me check something else here. Need to get that profile doing a little better. Well, this doesn't matter. But I have noticed the beauty of all these lives, my super chats are definitely coming up. So we're getting followers and super chats. So it's all working out. And the beauty of it, it's hitting multiple platforms. Yeah, I appreciate it, Eli. We might shut this one down though. It's not really getting many views. And we've been an hour. We're going to do a nice long afternoon one though. Those have been going really well. Because you've been on a roll with the informatives. Keep in mind, we're going to stream during the run too. Yeah, we've been on a roll with everything, man. It's all flowing. Yeah, my content across the board is just going to go up. Like I'm just going to work. No distractions other than my bit of personal life. Yep. But now I'm having a super productive week. Again, just closed a package. Do you have some special deal for someone who needs to cut like 7 kilos? What do you mean a package deal? You talking about coaching packages? If you buy a package, it's 10% off. If you buy a 6-month package, that's $1,350 for a 6-month package. You have to be one of the most engaging coaches out there. Don't see other YouTubers connected with the audience. There we go. And I do it across all the platforms. Man, I'm crazy active on Facebook too. I don't think you guys realize how much posting and engaging I do on Facebook every day because that's my other big bread and butter. Like that's all monetized and I get clients through it too. And my Instagram reels, those are picking up too. I'm picking up followers there. Some of my Instagram reels are gotten thousands of views, but I double hit those. So they're Facebook cross posts them. That's actually starting to pick up for the first time. They're not monetizing my reels on Instagram, only my pictures right now, though. So I don't know. All got to flow. All into the business. Dale's World. Hey, Jason, what's up? I think we're about to wind this down. Yeah, I engage with my people, but Facebook has its own type of engagement too. You know, so I have a whole community there also. If I send you my programming and training, we do a video call. It's $100 limitless. I'd probably do at least one of those calls, an average one a week, just for people who do the $100 calls. I just did one this weekend, actually. Right? I did one on Friday night. Or was it Saturday? It was Saturday. That guy wants another call coming up this week. He's like, I need more. I need to cover. Can we schedule another one? But yeah, so hit me up through Facebook or Instagram, Limitless, and calls are $100. I'll go over your program and everything and all your diet. But I'm going to roll on out of here, guys. Let me wind down the Facebook. Well, we'll let it hit the hour. We're almost at the hour. We could run it through to the hour. But the sun is going to be up soon. I might wait till the sun is fully up to hit my run. It's fairly cool out there. I might let it come all the way up. All right. We'll see. But I think I'm gonna let this roll into the hour at least. We don't want to shut it down before it just seems silly. It might help the algo a little bit. We're already in a good place on it. Yep. So yeah, Limitless, that is how it works, homie. All right. I'm going to end the Facebook. All right, guys. So I'm out of here. I'm going to stream my run here in a little while. I'm going to do a 5K this morning. So I'll catch you guys then. Love you, and I'm out.